Now it's time for the gladiators in the arena. So, you guessed it, AI Idol. All right, so this is the third annual. And there was a pool of 30 submissions. We have 5 gladiators here today. Or is it 4? We have 4. One has already been eliminated. We have 4 gladiators here today. All right. I will introduce them one at a time. We also have a panel of esteemed judges who I believe are right
This one.
there. Right? Okay. I will introduce them. All right. We've got Darian Shirazi, General Partner, Gradient Ventures. Please raise your hand. All right, Darian. We got Rohini Chakravarthi, General Partner, NGP Capital. We got Raviraj Jain, General Partner, Lightspeed Ventures. Okay, fantastic. We got Ashu Garg, General Partner, Foundation Capital. All right, and this last one's a doozy. Jason Scott. Did I pronounce that right? Did I pronounce that right? I got that one right. All right, Jason Scott, Global Startup Partners at Google. My name is Mark Kramer. I'm the MC, obviously. I actually am the director of the Startup Mentoring Service with the MIT Club in Northern California. And so, okay, we have cash and prizes. Actually, we have no cash. We've got prizes. All right, so the winner will receive this. You probably can't see this, but you probably know all the digits, 3.141592 blah, 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 blah. It says MIT. It's awesome. I thought this was a gift for the MC. It's not. It's a prize for the winner, so we're going to put that right there. All right. We also have this lovely bag from NVIDIA. A lovely bag from, but it's heavy. Oh, I wonder what's inside. Oh, this is heavy too. It's a Titan V. All right, I know it's a 5. All right, it's a Titan 5. And actually, Jason, did you want to? So you've got a prize too.
Happy to, yeah.
You want to tell the prize? Is your mic on? Is Jason's mic on?
No, but
Oh.
use this mic.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So we're happy to announce that for all the winners, we'll they'll be eligible to join our Google Cloud for Startups program, which includes $100,000 in Google Cloud credits, access to technical support, Googlers from around the company, including Alphabet companies like Gradient. And yeah, we're excited to work with you and support you. So.
Okay, so those are some generous gifts. I should have pointed out that that's for the winner. So obviously there's only one, right? You can't share it. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. We'll have the 5 gladiators come up one at a time. You get 4 minutes. At the end of 4 minutes, a trap door opens up right behind this podium and you fall into a pit of crocodiles. So make sure you finish at 4 minutes. After that, we're going to do 2 minutes of, is it Q&A or is it just feedback? I think they said feedback. I suppose you could ask a question if you wanted to. We can do whatever we want. We're adults, right? If you want to ask, no? Just feedback? Who can stop them if they ask a question? No one can stop them. You guys do whatever you want. You're the judges, right? Your rules. All right. So let's start with number 1. We've got locomotion. I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. I'm going to make. You already know. You already know I'm not. Okay. Ketan Merkili.
That's
Not
fine.
even close.
That's
All
fine.
right.
That does it. I'll answer to that.
Should I? Is he mic'd up? Okay.
I'm mic'd
All right,
up.
I'm going to leave. All right. The timer's on the.
All right.
All right. When you start, I guess it starts. Good luck.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I'm Chetan Merichde. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Locomation. Let's see if this thing works. OK, it does not. Anyways,
Is he? Hello, is he mic'd up?
there you go.
Is his mic working? Okay.
So,
All right. Let's do it.
okay, so my slides are not working. Maybe I'll just say next slide. As I said, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Locomation, and Locomation builds self-driving trucks with a very particular approach to autonomy and with a very aggressive timeline to deploy at large-scale commercial trucking industry. So trucking industry is massive. It's the backbone of our economy with approximately 2/3 of all the goods being transported by trucks. And such a massive industry comes with massive challenges. Some of the big challenges today are the increasing driver shortage, especially in the long-haul trucking, and a related driver attrition problem. Historically, razors in profit margins, even the largest trucking fleets, can only realize 3 to 5% profits. And despite being a very, very capital-intensive industry, extremely low asset utilization rates, around 30% industry-wide. The solution will come from decoupling labor from the capacity through vehicle autonomy, and Locomation is building the world's first commercial-grade autonomous system, and we are deploying it in phases. We believe in the lean startup philosophy. It's all about building the right minimum viable product and get to the market as soon as possible, get to the revenue as soon as possible, and then quickly iterate there. Therefore, our go-to-market approach is, we are coming a little bit behind. Anyways. So our first step, our first phase of getting to the market is what we call autonomous relay convoying, or ARC for short. ARC works this way. You have 2 trucks and you have 2 drivers. 2 drivers drive the trucks manually through the urban miles, through the congested areas, and onto the freeways. Once on the freeways and the ARC system is engaged, the driver in the front truck remains in control, but the driver in the lead truck just leaves the driver's seat and goes and rests as the follower truck turns into a fully autonomous truck. What that means is, at any given point, there's only one active driver driving, but you have 2 trucks moving. The results are very impressive. The driver productivity is doubled, the equipment utilization is tripled, and there is an extra 8% fuel saving through reduction in the aerodynamic drag. If I can go to the next slide. So
yeah, let's just add on 1 minute. We are having technical difficulties here.
That's perfect.
Okay.
As I was saying, we are deep believers in the lean startup philosophy, and it's all about building the right minimum viable product, starting from there and rapidly iterating there. Our initial focus is to go with big enterprise, large fleets, focus on dense freight flow regions, and just focusing on getting the profitability and the ROI to the single fleets. And now from there on, we'll incrementally expand, go to multi-fleets, go to longer convoys, et cetera, and we won't stop until we actually cover the entire freight operation. And we have the team to realize that this ambitious goal. The founding team comes out of Carnegie Mellon's Robotics Institute with over 100 years of direct experience in building and deploying autonomous systems. The team members also spend significant times at places like JPL, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing. Also, the leadership has decades of experience today in logistics operations, logistics freight analysis, and truck fleet sales. So we cover the entire stack, not just the technical part, but the entire stack of making this dream a reality. It's at the end of the day, it's all about moving as fast as possible, but without breaking things, because in trucking, breaking things is horrible. And our team, with this unmatched amount of experience, brings the fuel that enables us to go really fast. We are moving incomparably faster than any other competition companies. And our laser focus on the right product and the right market segment keeps us on track, keeps us focused, and just maintains a course so that we can actually get to the market and be the first company to deploy fully autonomous systems at commercial scale. Maybe if I can get to my last slide. Yes. So over the next couple of months, we are about to make big announcements, big splashes. So stay tuned and follow us on the social media. I'll also be around in case you have any questions. Feel free to grab me. Thank you so much.
Okay, great job. So the judges, hopefully you've organized amongst yourselves. Pass the mic around in 2 minutes for feedback.
hear me? There we go. Good job. Very, very, very clear in terms of the solution and the market. I think the only piece of feedback I would love to learn more about, and obviously if you had more time, you probably could dive into, is around the customer acquisition, the retrofit process. And I noticed you said immediate ROI, but I was just curious to see some numbers around that, I guess, in terms of how much it actually costs for this fleet to retrofit, and when do they actually experience that. But yeah, good job overall, and enjoy.
Awesome. So very impressive team, and interesting idea. The question really is, there's a company called Peloton, which is using similar approach. And whenever I see this, it's like that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So it would have been useful to talk about how you're different there, given how much they've raised, and so like they have similar team backgrounds.
Okay.
Yep, same. Good job on that. So also a question on the driver retraining. Does the driver need to learn anything new about having yet another big truck behind him or her? And
Do I answer, or?
I don't know. But is that,
I can't.
that would be, that would,
I'm not going to tackle him. Go ahead. Answer the
that
question.
would be a question.
The short answer is yes. The long answer is there is some extra training, but not a whole lot. So we are devising an extra curriculum on top of the commercial driver license education, but only to the extent that they learn how to operate and troubleshoot the system. Nothing more than that.
So how much time we got left there?
Clearly a
Caitlin?
large market, very impressive technical team. I think the two things stood out for me as sort of areas for improvement. One is, why are you different? I mean, whether it's Peloton or sort of, independent of that, like it just wasn't obvious, other than the fact that you have a lot of smart people in the team. And secondly, how do you sort of enter the market? It's a very complex market, and getting your first dozen or so customers is going to be incredibly hard. And so figuring out how you do that and how you deal with regulation was an obvious concern for me.
Okay, so we'll start with Darian next time. For the next one, you'll be first. So you get. All right, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Okay, so George is coming up next. Did we have technical problems with the clicker? Was it not working? No, it's good. It's good. Okay, it's good. It is fixed. Fantastic. We're all, expert practitioners in AI. PowerPoint, maybe not so much. Okay, so George Shaw, founder, CEO of Brain the Store. So here's your clicker. The timer is right there, so good luck.
Thank you. See if I can get to my first slide.
Clicker's not working.
No.
Not working.
Do we have slides?
Okay, hold on. Okay, can you reset back to 4 minutes, would you mind? Could you do that? I don't know how that works. Okay, perfect, go.
All right, look at that. Hi, I'm George, founder and CEO of Brain of the Store. We're building a spatial AI platform that transforms customer movement in brick and mortar stores into actionable insights and recommendations that retailers can use to manage the people and products moving through their stores. We're creating digital tools for physical stores. I began this journey at the MIT Media Lab, where I worked with Deb Roy on the Human Speechome Project. This image that you're seeing from Deb's popular TED Talk, Birth of a Word, was an important early milestone that I helped to create, and it shows that location data combined with spatial intelligence could shed new light on how Deb's child came to learn language. My work at MIT transitioned from language acquisition to retail analytics when I began working with Bank of America and Best Buy, who were Media Lab sponsors at the time. When I left MIT, I joined industry leader Retail Next, where I ran the world-class R&D team, and in the words of Alexi, the CEO, I built the tech that built that business. After Retail Next, went to a couple other startups where I ran our R&D and data science teams, and now I'm back in retail. We've built a fantastic advisory board and a small but mighty full-time team with deep retail expertise. So what's the problem that we're working to solve? Over 80% of transactions still take place in a brick and mortar store. Retailers are working hard to make these stores stay relevant and competitive against the incoming threats from Amazon and others. What's the one thing that you can't recreate online? In-person human interaction, the people, And it's those people, the staff and the customers moving through these stores, that we're working to understand, empower, and turn into superheroes using 21st century tools rather than old-fashioned clipboards and instincts. Making human interaction in retail stores better is worth a lot of money, it turns out. $1.7 trillion a year are lost by retailers because they can't effectively orchestrate in-store customer experience. On the X is our solution that helps guide store staff to be in the right place at the right time to improve that customer service dramatically. We can guide store staff to be in the right place at the right time to interact with customers and to conduct transactions, which combined are worth $1.3 trillion a year globally to retailers. We can guide store staff to restock efficiently and effectively. Out of stocks are worth another $315 billion a year to retailers. And using our spatial AI to identify suspicious customers, we can guide store staff to address shoplifting and other types of fraud before they happen, worth another $57 billion a year to retailers. So how do we do this at scale in real time? Well, for us, everything starts with location data. Retailers are already generating a lot of this data in lots of different ways, and we work with all of them. But we're particularly excited about a solution we're creating together with a partner here in Silicon Valley, Pilot AI, to generate that location data from existing surveillance video. It's a really cool capability, and I'm proud to announce that we've just completed our first end-to-end prototype using existing surveillance from a global cosmetics retailer. That location data from whatever the source feeds in through our inbound API to our behavior engine, which is the brain. That's the core of what we do. It's a real-time, high-throughput data pipeline that houses our spatial AI and lets us address the various use cases that retailers care about. Results from the behavior engine flow out through our outbound API. We have a real-time component to drive in-store systems, as well as a historical component to do post-hoc analysis. Well, anyway, that's who we are, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. We've got a big vision, great plan to get there. So join us on this journey as we go and revolutionize brick and mortar retail. I'm George, founder and CEO of Brain of the Store. Thank you.
All right, great job. Stay there. Stay there. Can we?
Oh, there's my last slide.
There's the last slide.
It was a cool
There it
one. I
is.
didn't want to miss it.
I'll give you 10 seconds to talk about it if you want to.
I have nothing else to say.
It speaks for
It speaks
itself,
for itself.
frankly. Okay, go ahead. 2 minutes of feedback. Is the mic on? The judge mic on?
I don't think it's.
Oh,
Oh, there
we
we
go.
go. What are you using for edge detection, or how are you like pulling out the human from the video?
So we're not doing any of the computer vision work. We're working with
Got it.
a company called Pilot AI, but it's a detection-based tracking system that uses a deep learning model with a model of humans.
And you're using that to identify like, you know, whether it's an employee or something along those lines, or how are you determining that?
Employee identification is another hard problem. We're using spatial properties, where you go. If you're in the store for 8 hours, you probably work there. If you're behind the cash wrap, you probably work there, and so on, as well as visual identifiers.
Cool, thanks. Should I get feedback? It was great. Yeah, great.
Great feedback
And
too, by the way.
those
yeah.
were hard questions too.
So clearly a large problem, but I think the thing that really stood out in a positive way is that you have experience in the space. It's a complex space, and so the background of the team, I think, made this special. I would say the big question for me would be, you know, figuring out how to segment the retailers and where do you sort of get in. I mean, it's a very hard market to crack. It sounds like cosmetics retail, sort of the likes of Sephora, is probably a good place for you to start. based
So
on what
far,
you
so
said.
good there, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good presentation. I think retail, people kind of are nervous whenever they hear the word retail. So the question I think that was running through my mind, which you might want to address in future pitches, is just in terms of what's happening in new retail, so digital natives, and whether you would work better with somebody who's planning a store from scratch, or whether it works inside big box stores that already exist, and just cover that up front.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So excellent presence and great presentation. I think the one thing in terms of feedback would be like when you talk about that you rely on Pilot AI for your computer vision, so like expertise, that is a little concerning because that's another startup that can get acquired or it can change their strategy. So would have been useful to talk about how that is like a plug and play component where you can have others come in or have a strategy to work with many others.
Right, thanks. That actually is the case. One of the
Sorry,
things I
10
learned
seconds.
at MIT was how to go find the best people in the world to add a thing, and that's what we went and did.
Great presentation. I think the only thing that came to mind, and maybe it's because of the last panel, is thinking about potentially some of the ethical questions around like surveillance and identification of shoplifters and those things. And that's, I think your question kind of hit on that for me too. What are you using to identify, and the accuracy of that, and things like that. But yeah, great presentation.
I would love to sit and talk about that for a while, but I don't think
All
I'm
right,
allowed
no,
to.
you are
No,
not.
I'm out of
Okay, thank you, thank you so much, George. Now you- All right, it looks like the slides maybe are still a little bit sticky. I don't know what's, you at the end there, he was pressing, and so just a little heads up in the back of the room. I have no idea what's going on technically, so. There's a lag. Okay, so just press and be cool, or keep pressing? Press and be cool, because it's going to happen, right? You just need to chill. All right, so this is Alex, CEO of Relato. 4 minutes, and I guess start. Yeah, go for it.
You can see a live interactive version of this thing in case you're having issues right there in the short URL. So every B2B marketer relies on PDFs to get their most important messages across. In fact, there's $11 billion worth of documents consumed the exact same way today as they were before the internet. Relato takes those static assets and turns them into interactive and measurable experiences in a few clicks. The problem with the enterprise document, like a PDF, is that it's a virtual piece of paper invented for printing 30 years ago. When I was running marketing and sales ops at SuccessFactors, 40% of our budget went to create these things that weren't differentiated. They weren't shareable on mobiles properly, and they certainly weren't helping us win because they didn't give us any data. But that was the only alternative, because the other one was hey, let's go build a fancy microsite with all these fancy tools and 5 different teams to get together. So Relato takes the simplicity of a document and marries it with the power of the web. In fact, you can have your PDF and have an interactive experience at the same time. Here's how a customer at Accenture uses it. They take 9 months to produce this report. It looks like this, literally hundreds of pages, assets everywhere. We turn it into something like this for them in a few clicks. So it's video navigation. How do we do it? 3 steps. Add your PDF into the Relato SaaS tool. In a few clicks, we automatically extract animation, navigation. You could add interactivity and videos. Then, if the clicker works, since you have an awesome experience, you want to actually share that experience across multiple channels. And so every page becomes a smart URL. So you can actually maximize the value of that engaging experience. And then lastly, you can get deep analytics about who engages with what, so you can continue to win deals, but actually also improve your content and start driving better content decisions. Outcome 100 times more powerful than a PDF, 10 times faster to do than a website for our clients at Accenture, including Accenture Digital. Now, while we're starting with marketing, you could imagine that every team and every enterprise is actually cranking out these things, right? Sales leave-behinds, so you could sell when you're not in the room, customer guides, employee education. All told, we see $11 billion opportunity around the last mile. That's the content that touches your audience. And the ROI so far in the marketing is looking pretty good. So anything from across the top of the funnel, getting more stuff in so you could get SEO juice and just get exposure to your ideas, down to engaging the visitors for Salesforce, call to actions to drive behavioral change. And we're particularly excited about the win rate increase. We just went live with the recurring product this year. And we're really excited to see the trend that it's starting to spread within the enterprise. And also we're excited that some of the leading brands like Accenture, like Salesforce, are starting to trust us. And things are going to get much easier for us once we release self-serve, which is really the amazing part. And that's what we're working on here. So you could see, all right, let's go. So what's unique about our model right now is that we've got under the same roof ability to really understand the structure of the document and augment it, right? And then feedback loop to actually real engagement with that audience. That's really, really hard to do. These are all separate things before. And so while we're getting that ready, The long-term vision is that you could actually recommend on the fly what the ideal outcome will be for that asset. And fortunately, there's way more PDFs than web pages, right? So 10,000 times as many. So this is really powerful for us. So my co-founder is a genius. You heard about my experience. Like, he's got grants. Ran his own interactive e-learning startup. We're backed by former CEO of DocuSign, co-founder, CTO of SuccessFactors. Our customers, early customers, are winning AI, creative and marketing awards with this.
Okay, Alex.
So there you go.
You got a few more seconds for the sticky slides there.
Sticky slides, there you go.
Yeah,
All right.
we got some sticky slides.
All right.
So the plan for the slides, one click, chillax. That's how it works. Okay, 2 minutes for the feedback. All right, who would like to go first?
I do have the benefit of meeting you before the panel, but I definitely like the market size. I think that it's a huge problem because ebooks are terrible and they're like very, very widely shared. I think the question I have is, are there bulk import from a CMS? And how many, and can you import hundreds of documents, let's say from a, your CMS system, whatever you're using to store your ebooks, like if you pulled in from Spring CM or something like that, like can you just do that automatically is the question.
Yeah, we're building out the API right now. It's work in progress, but some of our customers that are most interested have thousands of documents, right?
Yeah,
because they can't process that at all. So we find that it's a really unique thing where you get one document that you want to be like a sugar candy, and then for that one, there's 10 to 12 that are just API or upload it and get the auto magic going. So that's the sweet spot for us.
Cool. And the documents that you're uploading, what is the failure rate that you can actually convert them into a real microsite? If you're going from PDF to microsite.
So there's two problems. Problem one, just getting PDFs to work is actually an incredibly hard technical problem. Second, on that, if it's a marketing document, it's much better to get engaging experience from that, which is why we're starting with marketers. The others are much more about finding the right content and sharing it and getting analytics.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, 30 seconds.
So, clearly large opportunity. I think PDFs are a pain in the ass, but there have been a lot of people that have tried some variation of this for at least a decade. And so the open question is, how do you onboard customers and how do you actually make it so easy that people come by themselves? It feels that you're going top down, and my instinct is this is much more of a bottom-up sell. But again, I may just be wrong on your go-to-market.
We're mid.
Okay, we got 10 seconds.
Close, but good.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, good presentation. And I think the question I had was around PDF itself. We saw what happened with Flash, and so the question is, how much are you dependent on PDF, and whether you become a standard technology or whether this becomes a niche that nobody else takes on. You don't have to answer it, but that was the question I had in my mind.
Okay,
Great
thank you.
questions. Thank
Alex,
you.
Alex, before you go,
Yeah.
you got to get at least one bonus point for that T-shirt. Yeah, I mean, check that out. Bonus point for the T-shirt. All right.
I started my career at Salesforce, so
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, good job. All right, so Amrit, are you okay? Okay, in case you didn't hear, there's a lag. Just press once and relax, because you're very relaxed right now, right? Everyone's always relaxed when they have to do a 4-minute pitch. Okay, Medtronic Systems, we ready to go? Is all set up? All right, good luck.
Hi, my name is Amrit, and I'm with Medtronic Systems. We've all seen the headlines. Okay, there's a little bit lag. So we're actually bringing AI into engineering design space. We've all seen the headlines where AI has been doing fantastic in terms of playing different kind of games, showing superhuman capabilities in terms of what it can accomplish. And we think many of the engineering design processes today can benefit from what has been accomplished in the game space. And we're especially excited about what single-player games have been able to do. So I'm sure you might have seen this, that an AI agent was able to learn from scratch to finish a Rubik's Cube in less than 2 seconds. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, there's a light sentence below the main headline which says, sometimes below 20 moves. So it's just amazing what AI agents have been able to accomplish. So we think engineering design is a similar type of scenario where, similar to single-player games, And we think similar performance gain is also attainable when it comes to certain areas of engineering design. When we especially want to bring this into the hardware design space. So all these different areas can definitely benefit from that kind of performance. And our goal is to bring a lot higher agility into the hardware design process, similar to what a lot of software development processes have today. And our current focus area is the printed circuit board, because printed circuit board is what goes into all electronic products. But the process of actually designing the printed circuit board is very manual today, very time-consuming, very costly, and is very rigid. So our goal is to transform that into a very flexible, a lot more iterative and a lot faster process. So who are we? I'm Amrit. My co-founder, Carlos, is also here. We've worked together in multiple startups before. We worked in one of the startups. We were key contributors in a startup which was acquired by Broadcom. So this is how a printed circuit board looks like. This is what it is. All electronic products have them. Basically, your phones to you name it, from the cars to medical devices to satellites, like you name it. I mean, it's there, right? However, the actual components and the connections in there are laid down by hand today. The software tools do exist, but the tools are used to actually do the process, go through the process in a very heavily manual way. And some of the, let me go back. And some of the complex PCB designs can take over 3 months, sometimes even 6 months. Some companies have 24/7 operations just to do this. How big is this problem? It's massive, right? It's all over the place, like I said. And it's predicted to be like close to 90 billion. And just the software market itself is 4 billion. It's everywhere. So how are we accomplishing this? So we're actually turning this into a game playing, right? We're generating the PCB automatically. And it's a design service platform that we're bringing to market, and will reduce the actual design of the boards from months to less than a day. In some cases, within hours. So it's transformative type of technology that we're talking about here that will allow us to literally transform the way electronics products are designed. And we have background, both of us founders, in chip design and also system designs. We've been on high-end software and systems. And we've been working on this for almost a year now. And we have actually proof of concept already done. We have multiple IPs coming through the process. And we're also connected with a few customers. And we're raising our first external round. Thank you. And that's my email address if you're interested.
All right, great job. A bonus point for finishing exactly on 4 minutes. That's incredible. Okay.
Great.
Where's Caitlin? Are you running the? Okay. 2 minutes for feedback, please. Go ahead.
Can I go first? Yep. Good presentation. So I guess one piece of feedback would be for you. It's always difficult to know where your audience is and where you want to start, right? And so I think starting with where PCBs are is not useful because if people don't know what PCBs are, they're not going to fund you. And if they know what PCBs are, they know something about the creation of it. So I'd rather start with EDA and kind of why this is AI for EDA and why that's an important innovation. And I think there's a lot more technology you can actually include in your presentation because the key question is, people know it's hard stuff and delineating what's new and what AI can do versus other techniques would be useful. But that was my
Great. Thank you.
Great application, but that's my feedback.
My sense is I had questions around market size. I mean, I sort of was at Cadence many, many years ago, and Cadence has been applying statistical techniques, and the line between statistical and AI techniques is pretty blurred to this problem for 20 years. And it's still a $100-200 million business for Cadence 20 years later. So at least for me, it wasn't obvious that this is a big market.
Oh, yeah. I just have one question. So can the software optimize the construction of the PCB board based on for heat or for size? Are you the customer can optimize based on those characteristics?
Absolutely. It's actually about something like size, right? Let's say we're designing an electronics product, and currently it's set once and then design, and that's it, right? What we allow is you can change the shape of the board, or your enclosure might change, and then you get to come back and change the
and then re-optimize.
And then that's the whole agility we're bringing to the process.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, 10 seconds. Anyone want to give one last final piece of Time's up. Okay. Thank you so much. Great job. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you very
Great
much.
job. All right.
Thank you.
Is Greg? Okay, Greg. All right, fantastic. Co-founder of Settle Medical. I'll let you pronounce your name. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay. There you go. I've messed up enough names already. Okay, so 4 minutes. Great. Good luck.
Thanks, everyone. So my name is Greg Zaharchuk. I want to talk about medical imaging. Medical imaging has been a breakthrough technology over the past 30 years or so, and it's essential for us to be able to look inside the human body. But one of the problems it has, as many of you know, is it's quite costly, it's often rationed, and it's very inefficient. For example, an MRI takes about 45 minutes to do, hard for patients to tolerate that sometimes, and certainly expensive for the use of the machine. So my company that I'm going to be talking about is Subtle Medical, and our goal is to use AI to fix this problem. And to try to understand that, I want to talk about the radiology workflow. It usually starts from the acquisition of a scan here on the left and works its way over to diagnosis. And a lot of the press in AI has been to replace radiologists. I heard someone just mention that a few minutes ago. That may be a very good use, but I think a really interesting use is to look at the upstream applications because, to be able to increase image quality and productivity is important because 80% of the cost of imaging is in acquiring the image, not paying the radiologist. So this is our team. I started this company about 2 years ago, along with my graduate student, Enhal Gong, who's now CEO. And we've been lucky to put together a good team over the last couple of years, as shown here. The technology we're using is convolutional neural networks, and the basic idea is we can go faster with imaging because we can take noisier images, lower resolution images, and lower radiation dose images, and train a neural network to predict a high quality image that's diagnostic. So these are our technologies. Our first product is called Subtle PET, and this is for a modality called positron emission tomography. This is a technique in which you inject a radiotracer into the body, and it's usually used to detect cancer. So we've shown that we can reduce scan time by up to 4-fold, and this was recently cleared by the FDA and is actually in clinical use today. Currently under FDA submission is a product called Subtle MR, which does the same thing for MR, and this is important because MR is used 10 times more frequently than PET. Much more common examination, but same basic idea. Go faster, use the machine more efficiently. And then finally, we're interested in safety. So we have a product looking at reducing MRI contrast injection. Some of you may know that gadolinium is thought to be toxic to the human body. And we're looking at methods to reduce dose by up to 90% and still have diagnostic images. Longer term vision, we're very interested in moving into the pharmaceutical space. Clinical trials, as you know, are very expensive and use a lot of imaging. And we can use the technologies I've described to reduce those costs directly. Better patient comfort, shorter scans can reduce patient dropout. We could potentially do additional scans now because scans are going to be cheaper to detect early changes. And then finally, we're very interested in kind of the technologies that deep learning can allow, particularly things like harmonizing data across different scanners. Every scanner is different, and when data comes from different scanners, it's very challenging. So using something like style transfer to make all scanners look similar is one of our goals. And then finally, the last and most exciting thing to me as a radiologist is, we're talking about taking low quality images and predicting high quality images at the same time. But why don't we think about maybe we could use similar technology to predict an image that's going to occur in the future, right? So, based on the image I see now and maybe some of the demographics of the patient, can I predict who is going to be a fast progressor and who you might want to enroll into your clinical trial? So I hope I've convinced you Subtle Medical's goal is to create value for all the stakeholders here, for patients who like faster scans, for doctors who want new use cases, for imaging facilities to be able to use their equipment more efficiently, and for pharmaceutical companies to improve clinical trials. So thank you very much.
Another one, exactly 4 minutes. Great job. Okay, so let's do 2 minutes of feedback.
Okay. Awesome. So a quick question, like the last part about predicting who's moving fast is very, very fascinating. I wonder if you can do that for existing images already and sort of like use that as a go-to-market, because that seems like a very compelling value proposition without having to get adoption for your technology across the board.
To look at older clinical trials, for example? And I think that's a good way to demonstrate value, certainly. I mean, existing clinical trials are great data, for example. And one idea is to train models with different treatments. And if you can train different models for different treatments, you can see how an individual patient will behave with different treatments. So to me, that's very revolutionary.
Great presentation. I think it covered pretty much everything around the team, the market, the value prop. The only thing I didn't really see is much around the actual financials and the value that's implicit there. I would love to just learn more about the actual size of the market or the cost of the technology or how you're actually, how much revenue you're actually getting from selling the technology. So more around the financials, I would love to see.
Sure. So in the U.S. alone, you do 35 million MRIs a year. Each one costs about $1,000. So it's a $35 billion market in the U.S. alone. Individual imaging centers often have to make the decision to buy new technology or to use their existing technology. So if you can actually increase your productivity by about 20%, that's about a $5 million win for your average imaging center. So the business model for us is to take a return on investment on that savings for them.
All right, we've got 30 seconds.
Right, I had a similar question, which is, would you have to go through existing MRI or PET scan vendors, and this would be an add-on product, or is it something that is deployable directly by the lab?
Great question. So this is basically cloud software. So the idea is to sit between the scanner, where the images are produced, and the PACS system, where people read the images. So we try to be seamless to the user. And the goal is really to make it available to all types of machines.
Okay,
working
great.
with OEMs is also possible.
All right, thank you very much. Fantastic job. Great job. Thank you. That was a great job for all 5 of our gladiators this evening. All right, so what's going to happen now? The judges are going to convene. Look, they're convening already. While they do that, my understanding is that some past winners are going to come up and take a victory lap, right? And a picture, right? From
last year.
Come on up. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Zhao Shiyuan. I am the AI idol of last year. My company's name is called Proven Skincare. Last year, when I was standing on the stage, my co-founder and I were fresh out of Y Combinator. We had some data on the beauty space. We had a big dream where we want to create a smarter consumer packaged goods company via personalization from millions of consumer feedbacks on the products that's available in the market, and we decided to take a crack at the beauty space where the market is not really smart. Data was not used, but there were tons and tons of data. Today, we have already collected more than 25 million consumer reviews on information over 100,000 products, 20,000 ingredients, and more than 4,000 scientific journal papers in the skincare space. We can precisely decide the combination of the ingredients that's suitable for a particular human beings in a particular environment and for the exact season, for the ethnicity group, for your skin concern, your skin expectation, and so on and so forth. We have tested the market, one final sentence, really important for the update. We have tested market, launched our own skincare for served more than 3,000 customers. We beat the industry average on the NPS score, which is the Net Promoter Score, by 10-fold, and we have created more than 45% of repurchase rate, and the industry average is below 5%.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I remember your presentation from last year.
Thanks.
That was it was a fantastic presentation.
Thank
and
you.
I also remember the technical problem right in the middle. We had to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heard the whole.
Same problem.
The whole thing just crashed, and we had to start all
Clicker.
over from the very beginning. But you really swung the bat hard there. So great job.
Thank you.
We got one. Do we want her to stay here, or what's the plan? Yeah, go ahead and stay.
I'll step on the side.
Yeah, have a seat. How's that?
Okay, great. Sitting on the
Oh, you can have my mic. Or you could take that mic. There you go. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name's Sanjay Jawar. I'm the co-founder and president of Riddleware. We won the AI Idol 2 years ago in 2017. We make industrial head-mounted wearable computers that are 100% hands-free, primarily driven by very noise-robust voice. When we were here 2 years ago, we had just about achieved $1 million of revenue with selling pre-production prototypes. Subsequently, we raised our Series A round in January of 2018 after having done about $4 million of angel funding as convertible notes. The A round eventually tapped out at $20 million. We just completed our B round in July of this year. It was another $80 million, 25 debt, 55 equity. So where we had prototypes that were almost in production at the time that we presented here, we were able to do $2 million of revenue in 2017, $12 million of revenue in 2018, $13.5 million up to June 30th of this year, and I feel we're on track to do somewhere between $30 and $35 million this year. Our business operates at 63% gross margin. We expect to be profitable by the end of Q1 next year. We've built a cloud. We have 1,200 enterprise customers in 55 countries, 130 people. And no traditional VCs in our cap table, which is a big surprise to me. Where we're going from here is continuing to work with global 1,000 companies on their digital transformation initiatives in all kinds of industries, from automotive to manufacturing to oil and gas to wind power to logistics, you name it. And we're continuing to grow our cloud, which already has 300 enterprise customers on it, and start to monetize that. And finally, we're going to get to do some AI. So we have a couple of projects underway. One is an image recognition project, working with a company called Latent AI, spin out of SRI, that lets us do edge-based inference in a very constrained type of device like this Snapdragon device here, and do so on a customer-specific, industrial customer-specific basis, looking at things like different assets and different types of pumps and motors and other things that you have at companies like ExxonMobil.
Okay.
And we're going forward from there.
Okay,
Thanks.
good job. When you are an AI, yeah, great job. When you're an AI Idol winner, you don't need slides. You can just pitch.
I'm going to give one update for another company. Just going to give a quick update for another company, past participant of AI Idol that could not be here. This is on behalf of Skyline.ai. So following the event, our company, so this is a real estate investment firm powered by AI. Following the event, our company has definitely seen lots of progress. At the same trip, a couple of MIT alums who now run JLL Spark, which is JLL's prop tech-oriented VC, have met with Orr Hilch, who's the founder, and decided to invest in their Series A. Since then, they've raised $25 million in seed and A funding and have partnered with some of the world's largest real estate investment managers, such as DWS, which is $700 billion in real estate, that's a lot of money, and JLL and more to deploy AI-powered real estate investment funds. All in all, this is the third year of the conference. In the past 2 years, the winners of AI Idol have gone on to raise over $200 million. So keep an eye on these guys, keep an eye on the participants. These people are doing big things. Thank you.
Okay, wow. All right, so we've got some fabulous past winners, and we have a new winner. The results are in.
So it was close, but we do have a winner, and the judges are pleased to announce that Subtle Systems is the new AI Idol of 2019.
Go ahead, come on up. You gotta get your prize. You got the. It's not an ashtray. It's fantastic. Because nobody smokes, but it's a candy. It's a wonderful candy. Sure.
No, we have our own in Palo Alto. Yeah. So, but I love this episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do a photo. What are we gonna do? All right. And the Titan, the bag with the Titan 5 in it.